Hello, hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for everyone to join us this afternoon, and thank you for coming to sharing this fantastic moment for all of us, for everybody care about Singapore football, and thank you for coming here to witness this such a great moment, and I would like to start to thank you for everybody, to thank you for your great support. A lot of you travel to Hong Kong and travel to India to like cheer for us, to witness it's a fantastic football match we played. And some of you also like came to the airport to welcome our team, came back from Hong Kong to Singapore, right? And again, thank you for coming today. And I think a lot of you, like last time we get together, it's like 100-day media day. So before I came here, at lunchtime, I quickly check. I count the days. Do you know what day is it today? It's a 215. Yes, yeah. So sounds like another 100-day, and yeah. So I mean, I would love to say, like, I feel like things like I myself and my team, our new council in like taking office, and we feel very grateful. We get a lot of support, and we lot of trust and belief into our team. And I'm also extremely happy today because, like, I remember at 100-day, like we talk about several very critical initiatives, and we mentioned the top priority at that moment is our national team, right? National A team. And because we have two critical tasks, one is for the Asian Cup, like a qualifier campaign, right? And at that time, we are still several games away. And another critical task is finding a fantastic national team head coach. And I remembered somehow, like, I promised this will be when we make that announcement, will be the talking point. I hope every family, every home, like at a dinner table tonight. So at this moment, I feel we achieved all of them. Yeah, I think that's been they have been the topic, and since the Hong Kong night, and it's already a lot of people talk about it, and throughout the whole, like in the past 10 days when I came back to Singapore, I walk around, I bump into people I know, I don't know, like everybody know, like now everybody know. Okay, so congrats me, like in the past when I hear certain people congrat me, I need to ask what will you congrat me? People have on different things. Maybe they own my company's stock, so they see the share price go up, they congrats me. so yeah, but this time it's a super clear, and we know we are all talking about this. It's become the common thing, the only thing every Singaporean cares, and I also want to take opportunity to really thank Gavin. It's if you guys think about it, you need a lot of courage, and you need a lot of guts. Nothing like just try to step in being the interim head coach. And we know being a head coach of a national team is a very demanding job. It's a very hot seat. Yeah, you get I mean, and especially like our team has been in a challenging situation. It's not a easy job. It's kind of like a little bit even more, although like we have done a lot, but we're still in the moment trying to turn around things, a lot of momentum, and it's even makes things harder. It's right in the middle of the tournament, and which is a very critical tournament. So I mean, I really appreciate Gavin have like really, I mean, there's a lot of sacrifice and willing to step up to take this challenge. Right, and the rest we all think, and we had a fantastic match, right? And the thing about it is how difficult it is, kind of to travel to India to play a away game, right? And not just on the pitch, and it's just everything, right? And it's a logistics, the atmosphere is very challenging, and Desmond is there, like with the team, and even later on for the Q&A session, you can ask him about it. And I personally, like a lot of you, so I'm in Hong Kong, so I'm sitting there in front of like 50,000 Hong Kong fans, like cheering and all in red, and this is the game for them to win, must win as well. I mean, I just sitting there, I feel my leg is shaking. I don't know, as a coach, our players, it's a really, really hard. And I really thank you, Gavin, to make this to take this challenge and to make this happen. Since Haris is here, I should also take the opportunity to thank our captain, right? And yeah. Yeah, and again, like I also want like thank you, Gavin, even take a further step, right, and to decide to agree to lead our national team forward, right, and bring us to the biggest stage, like in Asia football. So thank you very much. And I also would love to take this opportunity to thank Gavin's parents, right, and they are here today. Thank you for all your great support. Yeah, thank you for all your great support. Yes, yeah. And before I pass I think today we should hear more from Gavin, not from me. And but before that, and I would say like when I myself and our new council being elected into the office, and our belief is we want to bring the joy and the pride back to Singapore, like that like a joy and the pride of a football, Singapore football, back to everyone. And we saw that, right? And we saw that. And that evening, I think whole Singapore cheer for us, and every Singaporean feel proud and feel happy. And airport, we see like so many fans, a lot, as we moved to see a lot of kids came to, right? And otherwise they may end up in the tuition center. Yeah, so they came to welcome our team, to cheer for us. So this is really give us the hope, and I think this is just the beginning. And before and we know like we are all together, we can achieve a lot more. And before the match day, and I visit our players, I visit the team, and I talk to them. I think like hey boys, and please give your best. And this is a critical day for us. And I promise you guys, and if you can win the match in Hong Kong tomorrow, make us a qualified. I promise you, and this will be the beginning of a golden era for Singapore football. So I think like now and it's up to us, right? And we still have a long way to go. And now we are like have a Gavin to join us together and to make that happen. And I do hope, and this is give us a great momentum. And there's a lot of great days ahead of us. Let's all like cheer for that, and let's all hope for that. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Lee. And isn't it amazing? 215 days. We had the 100-day FAS Council. It feels like we've almost come full circle. But as you said, this is just the beginning. And I love how you kept reminding Gavin that this is a really high-pressure job, Gavin, so don't forget that. But as Billie Jean King said, the legendary tennis player of the past, pressure is privilege. And we are now privileged to hear from our very own head coach of the Singapore men's national team, Mr. Gavin Lee.
Thank you, everyone. I just want to say a few things before I start properly. The presentation of the red jersey brought back a lot of memories when Coach Kade gave me my first red jersey on the outside. So that was nice. And Raushan, thanks for this. But Gabe, I was expecting my Coke after. Anyway, thank you everybody for making time for today's press conference. But I just want to give a special shout out to the group of people who made this possible. I know it wasn't easy with such short notice. So massive credit to you guys for the video, for putting all this together. Really appreciate it. It is truly an honor and privilege to be able to sit in front of everybody today to address you as the men's national head coach. But me sitting here today, it's a consequence of the hard work of many, many individuals. So it's not just my work alone. Without the commitment, the hard work of the staff, like the technical team, the medical team, the administrators, I wouldn't be sat here today. At the same time, the players, right? If that man didn't block the cross in Hong Kong, we might have a different conversation tonight, right? So without them, I wouldn't be sat here in this moment. My coaching journey, when I reflected on it, is very much like that. Wise men in this room keep reminding me, keep nagging at me that success has many fathers, but failure is an orphan, right? But when I thought about that, that's not true, right? It's not the most accurate, because some of you in this room probably know my journey better than me. I've had many setbacks, numerous difficult moments, tough times. But in those moments, I actually realized that I wasn't alone. I was never alone. I had many fathers, right? I mean, to begin with, my actual father is here. Actual father. Right, my father, my mom, my wife, they gave me the support, the love, the space, the tolerance to allow me to be so obsessive with this game. And then I've got Coach Kade, who's sat at the back hiding as always. He is my role model. He is still my mentor, and he ignited the passion that I have in the game, truly. And then I've got Mr. Harvey Davis, who's here as well. Without him, I wouldn't be here today as well. And this man gave me belief. He taught me to believe in myself. He taught me that if I put my mind to something, I can achieve it. And then Alex Weaver, who some of you might know, he opened the doors for me. He showed me the direction in football. Coach Ogura, he gave me a platform. He gave me a stage. He gave me even more trust and confidence in what I do and how I do things. And not forgetting, my educators, my PE teachers, my school teachers. If not for them, again, and their support, today is not possible. And then last but not least, that man, Desmond Ong. I don't think I should say anymore, because if I say anymore, he will come over and hug me, and then you got another iconic picture. Yeah, but truly, guys, I mean, what I'm trying to say is without these people in my life, without them during the tough times, I would not be here today. And I see the national team story a little bit similar to mine, because that night, that wonderful night in Hong Kong, it is not just because of the players and staff. That night in Hong Kong was only possible because of the consequence of everybody pulling together, everybody in Singapore pulling together. From Forrest giving us his trust from the very beginning, to the management and the council for their unwavering support, the good folks at UTR, Sports SG, people in the public sector, private sector. Without their backing, that night in Hong Kong would not have been possible. And then we cannot forget the fans, because the fans were with us from the very beginning of the journey. And it hasn't been easy. And for 2,000 fans to fly up to Hong Kong, despite not knowing that we are going to qualify, really gave us a lot of belief. It showed us that they had faith in what we're doing and what our team is about. And without all these people, that special night in Hong Kong would not have been possible. So all I ask is that moving forward, that I hope the players, the boys, the staff would be fortunate enough to experience the same love and care that I receive from the different fathers that I have, even when the times are tough. Because in football, we know it's unpredictable. It's never a straight line. There are a lot of bumpy roads. But like I've experienced before, if you know, if we know, if the boys know that people care for them, they have their backs, they're supporting them all the way, then it can be very powerful. And I'm very, very sure that together as one, if we go forward together, we will be able to create even more lasting memories like the one in Hong Kong. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gavin. I mean, you've thanked a lot of people who you say have contributed to your success. But I think on behalf of everyone here in all of Singapore, we too want to say thank you to you for everything that you have done for Singapore's men's national team and for getting us into the 2027 AFC Asian Cup. So thank you very much for that. We are now going to open it up to questions to the media. I'm sure you have loads of questions. I only ask that you raise your hands. Please give us your name and the agency organization that you work with, and we will get a microphone to you. So we're going to start with Gabe from ESPN. So we'll get a microphone over to him. Thank you. Thanks, Gabe.
Thanks, Colette. Hi, guys. As Colette mentioned, Gabriel from ESPN. Finally, I have one question for Forrest and one for Gavin. Forrest, obviously, the road to the Asian Cup is long. It's going to be challenging. There will be many hurdles along the way. What kind of assurances are the FAS going to give Gavin that, there will be no knee-jerk reactions, even at times when, maybe Asian Championship, maybe some not so good results. What kind of long-term assurances is FA going to give Gavin that, this is going to be a long-term project looking at a bigger goal? And for Gavin, just a simple one. If you told 13-year-old Gavin they were just starting to fall in love with football, that he'll one day be Singapore national team men's head coach, what do you think he would say?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. It's a great question. And like we do kind of like have the plan. Like so you prepare. We already start working. Actually, yesterday, like all of us are spending a lot of the time in the office to start to really work out the plan. I think like along the way you will see a lot of things happening. I think like everything we're doing to now is really trying to optimize for the 2027 January February during the Asian Cup. And for whatever happened in the between, and as you said, there will be no knee-jerk or like a reaction. So this is everything's optimized for that tournament because that is the stage, and for Haitian football, so really cherish opportunity here. In terms of the preparation and there's immediately there's some things we're been working on. We start to really work on we see the calendar base and you see what is the FIFA national team window, and then we start to want to try to secure our like opponent for the warm up, like for the friendly match, so to kind of like to practice and previously we always go with some similar level of opponent, but this time like we aim to find stronger. So it's like the similar team like in the Asian Cup we may face. That will take a lot of time, especially next year. Actually, for a lot of a national team, will be a busy year because it's a World Cup year, but we try to start to work on that. And in terms of the resources, and yesterday I asked Gavin, what is your wish list, right? And whatever your wish list is, consider yes. And then we work on it. And if we do get some more and we see some constraint, we would like to know why we have to kind of compromise here a little bit, be more practical. But whatever you need is consider yes. And again, so for example, yesterday we discussed we have 8 like a national team player, potential national team player playing Thai league, and then like being in Singapore, how we support them, right? And like on the nutrition, on the recovery, on the physio, right? And I mean, not every Thai club has a dedicated physio, right? As expert, but we care when they get injury, when they get things, how things can be done. So we're already talking about we should probably need also hire a full-time physio just based in Thailand, and the full-time jobs just take care of these 8 players, and just go around the club, like make sure give them the proper treatment and advice. So this is a lot of small things we start to really look at. Yes, yeah. Just some quick example give you an idea. Yeah. Yeah.
Gabe, so your question was 13-year-old me, yeah? 13-year-old me was fearing for my life when Coach Cardi was yelling at me. No, listen, it's I think you already know the answer. I wouldn't have dreamt of it, right? Just now speaking to Luca and Haris, and like they say, even if they asked me last year if I wouldn't have dreamt about it. Last year I was just focusing on beating those guys. But life is full of surprises, and here we are, and I'm truly grateful and appreciate the moment.
Yes, Raushan.
Hi, it's Raushan, the pen salesman. I've got 2 questions, one for Deputy President Desmond, one for Coach Gavin. I'll start with Deputy President first. Des, you gave Gavin a chance all those years ago at Tampines Rovers then, right? What was it that made you want to give this boy a chance? And I'm sure you had grand ambitions when you gave him that chance, but has he superseded that timeline you ever dreamt of by sitting here at 35 as national team head coach?
Wow. It's a very long answer. I'm not sure everybody in the room has patience. But if you allow me, I just want to spend the first minute thanking Forrest, our president. I don't often have a chance to say publicly but the leadership that he has shown since he took office, I'm humbled by it. He came, like Gavin alluded to a moment earlier, and as I said on my Facebook post, he was a four-turn friend, a nemesis turned comrade. And I still find it very hard to look Luca in the eye. Because he's still identified with the enemy. But, Forrest humbled himself. He came to me. He said, look, we run two of the biggest clubs in the country. We need to get off our backsides. We need to do something for Singapore football. I'll give you a headline now. It's really from Tianjin to Tampines. Via Toa Payoh, if anybody's interested. So thank you, Forrest. Thank you for being here. And thank you for the opportunity. With Gavin, like I said, there's a fine line between genius and insanity. If everything had gone pear-shaped, then I look like biggest fool. But if you've had any chance to spend any sort of time in Gavin's company, I think I echo a lot of people in this room. His work ethic is second to none. And everybody loves a trier. And if you work very hard at your craft, it's very hard to find fault with you. And yes, I mean that there were moments where I doubted it. I doubted it a lot. But with every passing day, that the confidence grew. Can I say that? There were moments like in the early days of the Champions League when we qualified and we got humbled by Jumbo 9-0. Still fresh in my mind in case you're wondering. And yes, it was not easy to say, let's just stick with what we started, because we had a 1-year plan, a 3-year plan, and a 5-year plan. And by extension, I asked that the people in this room help us. I asked with all humility to help us, because things are not going to happen overnight. We've got a great opportunity in the Asian Cup, but this is not an appointment just for the Asian Cup. Well, Forrest says it is, but for the people who then come after, the chairman of clubs, give your coaches every time. The people who are developing under you, the people who are in positions of authority, don't be knee-jerk. You need to be very patient in football. That at least has been my experience. I'm sure Forrest feels the same way in terms of what you see Lion City Sailors do nowadays after 5 years in the project. So we just ask for patience. Sorry, it's a very long answer to your short question, Ocean. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And my quick question to head coach Gavin is, there's this picture now going that you took the train to work today. Calm is your mantra. Tranquilo is a word we align with you, right? We are laughing now, but is that going to be your biggest asset going into this job? Because the noise is going to be loud, especially when things don't go so well.
Control what you can control. I think that has been my mantra since day one. In coaching, you've got so many things to consider, internally or externally, inside and outside of the team. And if we put our attention to things that we cannot control outside the team and individual, then your life will be chaos. And so ultimately it's to maintain the same calm, stay in the moment, stay in the present, focus on what's most important, help the boys, help the staff, help the team, and focus on the job.
And quick follow-up to that, in world football, we've got the special one, the normal one. Do we call you the calm one or the control one?
I'll get back to you after the press conference.
Thank you very much. I think we have a question from Deepan.
Hi, Deepan from the Straits Times. Two questions, one for Gavin and one for whoever may answer. Gavin, I think Forrest just alluded to how you had a wish list that you spoke about with him. I mean, care to share what this wish list contains? And also for who can answer, I mean, could you just take us through the process of how it came to be Gavin being the national head coach in terms of the last few months? We've heard about a global search. We've ended up with one of the best in our own backyard. So talk about the process, basically.
Yeah, thanks, Deepan. The wish list is not complicated, right? We look at we look at the preparations logically. We look at what we needed to give the players the best conditions to go out there and do what they want to do or what they need to do. And so it's just about finding arrangements that would facilitate that. And yeah, we're not going to unveil all secrets today, but in general, that's the idea. We want to find the best possible arrangements to facilitate environment so that our players can succeed.
Would someone like to take the second question about how we went around and about selecting Gavin?
Deepan, I've obviously been arrowed to answer your question, and I think it's right because Padri and myself were in charge of the global search, as you call it. And of course, there was a lot of publicity in the press. I remember you doorstepping my office early in the morning, God knows why, and you got some nice pictures. Again, at the risk of giving a very long answer to a short question, I think the three basic metrics, it was a lot more complicated than that, were that one, the person that we wanted to identify as our next national team coach had to be very competent professionally, had to be very progressive in that regard, had to be committed to a brand of football that we could all get behind. That was one. Two, from a personnel perspective, had to be someone who could communicate with the players, had to be someone who could relate to the players, had to be someone who could, if not already know, get to know the local conditions very, very quickly, the unique position that we are in, the sort of education system, NS system, so on and so forth. And the last one was, we wanted someone who had experience, who had brought the team to the Asian Cup, possibly to the World Cup. And you all know the story, God knows you covered it to death. And then to us, increasingly, as the search narrowed, we found that, to borrow your phrase, in our own backyard, there was someone who fulfilled two of these criteria very well, right? In terms of the progressiveness, in terms of the relation to the players, and I'll deal with each of them in turn. In terms of the football, it was useful for us, for Badri and myself. We saw 67 different coaches in various forms. We spoke about 20 of them late into the night because of time zone difference, right? So that's taken a toll on my married life. Wife's not happy, but okay, Forrest says he'll buy her a diamond ring at Christmas. No, I'm kidding, kidding, Forrest. And in some strange way, seeing all those coaches validated a lot of what we saw Gavin doing before our very eyes. None of them were moving the needle in any sense. Oh my God, this is what they are doing. And it helps that Badri, having come out from LCS, okay, take this the right way. They have seen a lot of potential coaches in the past. So he has a lot of experience in terms of what they look for in a coach and whether these coaches were worth their salt or just talking a good game. And it became more and more apparent to us that the boy we have in our own backyard, I apologize, I must call him a man, were better, if you can actually quantify these things, than a lot of these high-profile people that we were seeing. So it validated a lot of what he was doing. Then in terms of being able to relate to the players, to the conditions, who better than a local? We didn't set out to get a local. This much is true. The fact that he's a local is a bonus to us. And I think ultimately, Deepan, you, Raushan, Gabe, Matthew, you can spill a lot of ink. I think one big set of stakeholders will be the players themselves. And if you speak to the players themselves, it became increasingly evident that they wanted Gavin to remain as coach. And I think their voices should be the loudest. Because for those of you who know professional sport, if the players want to play for the coach, that is already half the battle won. Right? You've often seen players down tools, as it were, not wanting to play for the coach. Manchester United fans, feel free to leave the room now. Yes, thank you. I left that one wide open, didn't I? So in that regard, those two metrics, as far as we're concerned, have been fulfilled. Then became the last one. He didn't have the experience, right? But he was putting up a very, very good audition, as it were, right? He was winning games. If you look at the current national team, it's a very resilient bunch. We seem to make a habit of going behind and then coming back, never say die. And every time you watch a national team play, maybe I'm biased, but you feel this frisson, this sense of excitement, like these guys have got it, right? And we're never going to disgrace anybody as long as you put on the shirt. We're never going to disgrace the team as long as Forrest is president, as long as Gavin is coach, as long as Haris is captain. You have my word for that. These three men will die before they let any of the players disgrace the shirt. All right, and that's the promise we make. So he was passing the audition in flying colors, but he didn't have the experience. So then begs the question, if we don't give him the experience, who's going to give him the experience? All right, it becomes a circular problem. Do we then ask another country to give him any experience before we take him back? Do we take somebody else's experienced person? Right, so there's a lot of soul searching, and I'm mindful of the fact that we have spent a fair bit of resources, not just money but time, in terms of interviewing a whole lot of coaches, speaking to a whole lot of people repeatedly in some cases. And then to finally land upon Gavin, I need to tell you, it is not a groundswell of the moment, it's not a man of the moment. It is done with a lot of really serious, hard thinking. And to this end, I must thank people like Kade again, Alex, people who are former players, people who understand the game, Sport SG, people that we speak to, HPSI, so on and so forth. A lot of people who were consulted. So for that, I'm grateful. But it wasn't a group thing. Ultimately, I think the decision finally came down to Padri, myself, and Forrest, right, after consultation. And I think we feel that this is in the best interest of Singapore football. And if you must ask me and quote me, then he is the best person for the job at this point in time. Thank you.
Thank you, Desmond. We've got Matthew. Yes.
Hi, congrats to Gavin again. I had two questions for Forrest and one for Gavin. I will not have two parts because Gavin hits two parts the questions, right?
Thank you.
So, so first question, I mean, for Forrest, you mentioned the golden era for Singapore football, and you've told us before that you want people talking about Singapore football. So what would the golden era look like for Singapore? That's the first question. And also, it's been reported that the contract for Gavin is 18 months. Could you confirm and could you elaborate on the length? You know, why that particular length, if so? Question for Gavin. Again, you talk about leaving the shirt in a better place. You've said it countless times. But in terms of goals for the Asian Cup or for the AFF, are there any particular goals that you could share with us right now? That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, again, thank you for the question. It's a fantastic question. I think it's like when we describe the golden area of Singapore, like football, I would like, it doesn't matter you are fans, you are the football media, you are the coaching, you are the players, professional players, grassroots, and the kids, academy, schools. I want when everybody talk about Singapore, they talk with pleasure and the pride. So this is things is a hard to measure, right? And I think it's hardly defined by the on the pitch result. But I think it's ball sometimes is a little bit hard to predict. It can go anywhere. Well, ball is a ball, right? And sometimes we have a good day, sometimes we have a bad days on the pitch. And but overall, I think when the things move towards the right direction and more towards a positive, a positive side, we can all feel it, right? We can all feel it. I mean, I would say since our Hong Kong night and in the past 10 days, it's a golden area, right? It's a good days. Everybody congrats, everybody happy, and people come to our players are happy. That is a moment as a footballer in Singapore, as a football fan, you feel proud, right? And I think that's how we define. And of course, along the way, we hope we'll get more supported and from all the corners of the society, right? From the government, from the corporations, and from the communities. And ideally, we hope more kids were going to play football, and more parents will support their kids to play football. And then we see more players like for Gavin, to select for our national team. And we want to see a full seated stadium when the national team play. So that's I think that is things visually, that is what in my mind like a golden area look like. Yeah, and especially talk about the contract. Actually, now we are very much we want to kind of define the contract is with the Asian Cup finals at the center. So the tournament will be happening in the January and the February, right? And so that is a key kind of indicator, right? And what we like a factor when we think about how we should set a period. And after the Asian Cup, there will be a lot of new data, a lot of information, and then that is a good time like a checkpoint, right? To see what is the best. I think it's not only for national team and also what is for Gavin's career, right? And it's definitely Gavin is our national treasure. A fantastic thing is still too young. So he's still so young. So he still have many decades, right? And I mean, don't take it as a promise and don't take it as a highlight. I mean, I think it's probably not the only time he will be the the national team head coach, right? There's a lot. Maybe it's a better for him to go to Europe, go to Japan, stay with the club, go to just more focus on development, right? And so that's all the things you might. I think is a good at that point of time we may sit down together. What is the next step? What is beneficial for everyone? Yeah.
I forgot your question now. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Listen, when it comes to talking about targets and goals, right? It's never set by one person. So it's a conversation between me and the boys, and to see what we want to achieve as a group. And knowing these boys, they're all competitors, they're fighters, they're winners. They want to win, and I'm sure they want to do better than the previous campaign. Always like that, right? That's how progress is made. That's how we leave the shirt in a better place. Same with the Asian Cup. I'm sure when we get out there, it is still far away, and we like to stay in the moment. But when we do arrive there, I'm sure the boys want to give the best showing that they can possibly give. And like I've said many times before, one of the main intention is to give the people in Singapore a national team that they can be proud of. So that is the underlying goal.
Thank you very much. Aslam, you have a question?
I would like to ask the council, what is the support that Singapore football will get moving forward, and also Coach Gavin will get moving forward? It gives some examples, maybe the broader picture, whether in terms of training, in terms of naturalization of players. Are there some concrete plans moving forward to ensure that, our rise in the FIFA rankings will continue to rise and the achievements will continue to go in the upward trajectory? And my question to Gavin is, I asked you before about your coaching philosophy, and you mentioned that word is a bit complex and broad. So maybe what is your non-negotiables as a coach that you will establish from day one as the national team's head coach?
Sure, I'll take the first question. There's a lot of things in plan. I think it's like it's hard to pick a single one, but like everything still start to move towards the right direction. I remember in the 100-day media day, like we shared there's 4 very key initiatives: national team and our SPL and the youth development and the structure, right? And actually being sitting here, I hope later on if you have some time, just maybe Frederick can organize. We can have a tour, just get a feel of the new Jalan Besar, right? And we completely changed the pitch and convert it from the artificial to the grass pitch, and it's fantastic. I like the smell, and you should just get a feel. This is a kind of a premium, bit more satisfaction, the sense of authenticity of the football, and we're going to start to in December start to more matches to the new Jalan Besar, and not only on the pitch, it's around the pitch. We do some renovation, and it's in ways like the experience is not only for our footballer but also for our fans, right? And we want more people to come to the match and bring their family, the kids, and learn what type of experience and that they can have. So this is just one example. I mentioned things where at the moment we are here, right? And you can feel it's the start to the change is happened, and then and what I'm also trying to do is we want to just encourage more people and from all around our Singapore to support. Thank you, our media friends. You guys have been fantastic, and you have been put a lot of effort and really support us, give us a lot of credit and give us a trust, and I hope more and more people and feeling that way and start to support. And I have the plan. I'm going to start to knock doors of all the Singapore companies, right? And please come to join us to support our national team, right? And we have a great plan, but we all understand everything costs money, and we need the resources, right? And we have a lot of great volunteers willing to help Singapore football, but there's a lot of things, and actually it's need more financial resources. And at this moment it's fantastic, and we get a great support from the government, right? And but we hope we can get more, and with more resources, and we can get more since then. Yeah.
Philosophy. Yeah, it's a big word. Ultimately, throughout my coaching journey, one of the key things is the players must enjoy what they do. Because we are all in this game because we love the game. And the moment we don't enjoy what we do, then what's the point? And so first and foremost, coaching for me, the players must enjoy the football. They must enjoy training, because that's when I think they really empty the tanks. They give 100%. And when it comes to the national team, that's no different, right? They must want to be around. They must want to be here. They must want to represent the country. It must mean something to them when they put on that red shirt. Those are some non-negotiables, and I don't think that will ever change.
Thank you. Do we have more questions, Deepan?
A question for Badri. Two questions. I know we're on a theme of two questions. First is, I know Desmond shared a bit about the process and the journey in terms of hiring Gavin, but I just want to find out a bit more in terms of, did it come down to a 3-man shortlist, a 5-man shortlist, and you guys picked from there? And what basically, in your words, make Gavin stand out? I mean, you've heard Desmond talk about how you've been involved in the Lions D Sailors coaching shortlist process. So was it similar in that sense? And also, not to steal anyone's thunder here, but one more vacant position for some time has been the technical director position. Any movement on that? And will we see a hire quite shortly after this?
Sure. Thanks, Deepan. Actually, before Badri took the question, I think this is if I remember correctly, this is also the first time Badri as the new general secretary officially meet with all our media friends. I know a lot of you have known Badri for years. Badri is a new face, and it's not a new face for Singapore football. But again, so I think this is a fantastic moment for Badri. And we didn't organize a press conference when Badri took into the position, but I think it'd be great we are here today with this opportunity to kind of introduce Badri to everyone. Yeah. And since Badri was in office, and I mean, he has done fantastically, and he's everywhere, day and night, right? It's not an easy job. At least I'm pretty worried that he's a burnout, that he's a worry too, he's a work too hard. I think please go back home, do spend some time with your family, with your young kids, yeah. But it's just non-stop working, so I really appreciate. But yeah.
Thank you, boss. Thank you, Kanti. Deepan, to answer your question, since Coach Ogura's departure in June, there was indeed the search. I must say it was a very thorough and comprehensive one, where it was on a best endeavors and best efforts basis. Myself, Forrest, Desmond, there was a lot of work that was being put in place. At the same time, throughout the process, we were also very humbled, where we generally had world-class profiles, personalities who were interested in the position of the national team, head coach position of the Singapore team. As what Desmond alluded to earlier, there was a lot of late nights, a lot of discussions, a lot of deliberations, essentially. And there was indeed a short list, and for all intents and purposes, that was the plan that we were going for. But ultimately, what I can say is that Gavin passed the ultimate test and interview, which is through the performances and the results of the Singapore national team. He gave us what we wanted the most, which was qualification to the AFC Asian Cup. And not just because it was a groundswell, but there was a very, very strong momentum, not just externally, but as what Desmond has said as well, within the team. And this was something where for us, take a very, very big consideration and factor into ultimately landing in the position of appointing Gavin with this new role. I must disagree with what some has said earlier. The road to Saudi Arabia is actually quite short. 13 months is not a really long time. And considering that we have only 5 FIFA international windows up until then, so the work starts now, it has already started. And we want to be in a position where when our group gets on that plane to Saudi Arabia, we will not look back. We can't regret, where we have put in whatever we could from our best efforts perspective. We've done whatever we could to prepare the team as best as we can to be as competitive as possible. Going into the AFC Asian Cup, we are, I believe, now the lowest ranked team with the smallest land mass, and now probably I need to check the stats, but possibly the youngest coach of the AFC Asian Cup, so no pressure. But ultimately for us, we want to bask in the experience, right? We owe it to the more senior players like Haris, Safwan, Izwan, and for the younger generation as well, where we want this to be the norm, not the exception. And this is something where, like I said, the road ahead is not a really long one, and we ask for a whole of society approach, not just from within the FA, the clubs, the government through NCCY, Sport SG, the commercial and corporate partners. Everyone will have a part to play in this, and this will be our collective success.
when we get on the plane to Saudi Arabia in January 2027. And I forgot your second question. Sorry, Dipan. TD, that's right. So for us, it's a matter of priorities, right? At the end of the day, for us, as what Forrest had mentioned, we have 4 key strategic pillars: the national team, the SPL, infrastructure, and youth development. The key priority for us was to put in place the national team head coach position. Concurrently, the search for the technical director position is already at play. And we hope that we can land on a decision soon, and we hope to make an announcement in due course. But for us at this point in time, we are laser focused in what we want to do, which is to be as competitive as we can for the AFC Asian Cup in 2027. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you, Badri. I think we have a question at the back.
And, thank you. My name is Singaram from Tamil Malaysia. Congrats again to Gavin for being appointed today as a head coach. So my question is one to Mr. Forrest Lee. So earlier you had announced about the 2 million that you estimate will be given to the team. So I wanted to just find out like what's the plan on raising the 2 million, or is it coming from your own pocket? And yeah, my second question is about what is the. I think you mentioned that you're trying to find teams that are better than the current level that you're at. I think earlier you said. So can I check like do you have like any plans? Like what are some of the matches that Singapore will be playing before entering Saudi Arabia? I think you also mentioned 5 international FIFA matches. So yeah, can you just know about?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for your question. And for the 2 million, and you mentioned, and that will from my home pocket. That's my personal money. So yeah, and but this, I mean, I hope this will be not always the case, because if Gavin keep winning, I may need you to buy me a McDonald's at a certain point of the time. And I think it's like I do hope there will be more support, right? And I don't mind to take the one step like a first, but I think it's like this is for our whole nation and everybody. And when we national team do well and everybody happy and every family is happy, it's really really full of pride and enjoy. I think whoever care about Singapore football, if you are the resources, if a big corporation, right? And I hope you can come in to contribute, and I will make sure as a president of AS, every single dollar will be well spent. It would not be wasted, and we treat every single dollar serious. And also like for every Singaporean, right? And I mean, if everybody can contribute $1, we have several $1 million. Yeah, so I mean that's we hope. And of course, it's like we don't take this kind of kick for granted, and we don't feel we have the right to ask for that. But I'm just saying, okay, if you do feel our national team do great, bring you happiness, bring you pride, please find a way to contribute. I mean, actually, it's very encouraging. And right after our Hong Kong game, and FAS email and the hotline got a lot of inquiry. We got a lot of sending emails say, okay, we want to contribute. Give me what is your bank account? What is as a bank account? And how can we kind of contribute for whatever we can? Yeah, so I think that is what we hope, and that we're going to work on. Yeah.
We have a question from the pen salesman.
Hi, Forrest. Roshan here is a question for you. I'll stay true to the theme and ask you a 2-part question. The first part is, everybody has said that this was a global search, and then eventually we landed on Gavin, right? You said in the 100 days you wanted a name that will get dining tables talking, which suggests you wanted a big name hire. I want to know, when were you won over by Gavin? Was it the Hong Kong result? Was it along the way something you saw in closed-door sessions? What won you over with Gavin? And my second question is, you've been quite public about your ambitions. What is your ambition for Singapore at the 2027 Asian Cup?
Okay, great question. I mean, to start with, I think like actually Desmond and the Badri has shared a lot, and I think it's not a easy decision to make. We take this search very very seriously, because this is probably national team is our top priority, and it's so important to gathering the support momentum because the visibility of our national team, right? Is a for other things, youth development infrastructure, it's a take time for people to identify. But you see, like for our national team, if for one game, if we do great, we make the history, the whole Singaporean know, right? So it's a very, very important. And of course, the head coach is such a critical role. We indeed actually it's not just several of us. It's the entire the football community, the councils and our AS councils and the sport SG and MCCY ministry. Everybody contribute, and we have quite a kind of like a thorough evaluation process. Everybody have a form, right? And we need to score, right? And we need to compare. And so in a way, there's a tremendous brain work behind it. So it's not like we take a shortcut, we just don't work, and we just we never take this decision easy and light. But I would say by the end of the day, and I think this is the decision for me, and it's a more from heart than from head. I think Gavin just win my heart, and when the search committee's heart, and win our players' heart, and win a lot of fans' heart, and there's a tremendous support gathered, and he earned it, and himself, and he deserve it, and the thing is it's a actually, I mean, you may say, okay, so like is a hard decision, and it's a actually, I think back of my life, actually most of the best decisions is the hard decisions. Yeah, so that is give me the comfort. And in a way, so like sometimes it's easy, a lot of things, if you just do a checklist, you just score and see whoever get a score. Process-wise, that sounds perfect. Nothing to be criticized, never things like, but it may not lead to the best decision. Sometimes you need that guts, you need that judgment, that kind of intuitive sense, right? And I feel I have strong sense of that from Gavin. And a lot of things Gavin showed is not able to mirror, right? And the desire of winning, and the care of the players, and the care of the result, right? And the resilience is to find a way to came back, like you look at the Hong Kong game, not the change he made, right? And when the young Kandi came in, right? And I mean, yeah. So all those moment counts, right? And I think like all those things is a very hard to just the easy things is easier is like the simple things are the easy one to mirror, right? And but I think all this, I mean, Desmond was in India, and he shared with me how hard Gavin is working. And right after the India match, on the bus back to hotel, he already started to put the laptop out and start to work on the clips, the plan, the video analysis. So those things will be never show up in resume. It's hard to show up on interview. And but may you so see that and firsthand by your own eyes, and we should cherish that. Yeah.
The second part
Oh, well, I think like we'll do our best, but in terms of the result, and I will not put any saying, okay, so it's a very simple. I think we already achieved what we want. It's being there. I don't know. I didn't check, but I was told probably in the history where the lowest ranking national team qualified for Asian Cup, right? And although this is a big milestone, big achievement, but we know the gap is there, right? And the gap is not can be kind of a bridge by like the 12 months work or 13 months work is probably bridged by 5, 10 years, 20 years. So that is the gap we acknowledge. But we always need a step one. We need a start to bridge that gap. I think this opportunity to play the biggest stage in Asia, that is the great step one. And I told our senior players like Haris, Izwan, Sabwan, you guys go there truly enjoying. This is your best moment of your football career, right? And this is the biggest stage you have been. I'm so happy before you retire, you get this opportunity to enjoy it, and you just go there to enjoy, right? And for our younger players, right? For young players, number one, like if they are not being selected in the national team. I hope in the next 12 months they work harder. You see, like they try to be there. Let's why not me, right? And I want to go to Saudi. I want to enjoy the big tournament. And for our younger players generation go there, I mean, this is probably their first experience, right? And it's such a big stage. And to them, this is the inspiration. I go there, I want to see how this, and I hope they remember they dreaming, and then every day they training, they think about, I want to go there, not once, but many times. I think that is what we want to achieve. But I think it's also important for our fans, right? And I mean, every football match, we go there, we visit expectation. A win is a win, right? And I mean, I think we'll try to do something unbelievable, unimaginable, right? And I think get first the goal, that will be a great moment, right? The first goal in Asian Cup finals, that'd be a fantastic moment. First the point, right? Yeah, and the first win, yeah. So we don't know, but this is every single moment could be a history-making moment. Let's just enjoy it, right? And let's get together, give the full support to Gavin, give the full support. Don't judge too early, right? And just that's the players enjoying, but our fans will also go there to enjoy it. I think as long as our boys give their best, we can tell from the 90 minutes there with our own eyes how hard they try, right? How much they push themselves. What is the desire? What is the determination? As long as they make our area of us crowds, right? And we feel they do their best. I think that's good. That's great enough.
Thank you. Great answer. In the interest of time, I think we'll just take one last question, please. Jeremiah?
Yeah. Hi, Jeremiah from Baseline. Congrats, coach, on the appointment. Yeah, so coaches they have all different imprints on the teams that they manage. So for you, what is one thing, because now you have a longer runway with the boys, what's one thing that you would see like a first change to Gavin Lee's Lions?
One change.
The
first change. No, I think first and foremost, what you see on the pitch is the consequence of the players doing the job. Our role as technical staff is to give them a plan, as clear idea as possible and as logical as possible, so that they would buy into it, and then they go out there and they're the ones that execute it. And I think window on a window, we managed to build on things that we've put from the beginning, and hopefully with more time now we can expand the toolbox, as we say, and by the time we arrive Asian Cup, we will have more flexibility, more variability, and we play a brand of football that even more people will enjoy.
Okay. Thank you very much, Gavin. Thank you very much to the panel here. And thanks to all of you for coming along today. Great questions by the media. I'm sure you'll all agree with me that the future looks very, very bright, and we have a lot to look forward to in terms of football here in Singapore. Gavin, on behalf of everybody here in Singapore, thank you so much. And congratulations. We wish you all the very best as the head coach of the Singapore men's national football team. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for our panel for their time.
Thank you very much.
Just two more things. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some refreshments waiting for you outside. You would have seen it before you came in. And last but not least, if any of the members of the media here would like to do an additional interview or a one-on-one, I'm not sure if I'm stepping out of my zone here, but you can please approach one of the lovely